Nikki's going to tell you how to make a bread bowl, and then we're going to whip up. I'm going to make one for you and one for me.
Good.
2 different variations on a soup. It's coming out of one bowl, and you can do whatever you want. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm not going to tell you until a minute. You'll kind of figure out what's going on. So how do we make the bread bowl, Nikki?
All right, and it's easier than I thought. I thought it would be difficult. It's pretty simple. I started with a packet of active dry yeast. I poured that in there, and now I'm going to add, this is warmed, a little bit hot water, 1 cup and 1/8 of water to that. I'm going to mix that up and let this sit for 5 minutes.
Gotcha.
So it can do its stuff. All right, it's sat 5 minutes, and now I'm going to take a teaspoon of salt,
All right.
teaspoon of sugar,
All right. For the bread bowl.
that's right, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil.
Gotcha.
I'll mix that together. Seems pretty simple.
I can dig it so far.
And now all we have left is 3 cups of flour.
You know what? So many people think cooking is so hard. So many people don't cook. But if you make it simple, and we're going to try to make it simple for you, that's something I have noticed that people have been saying. You make it look so easy, and I tried it. Not too long ago, you made yeast rolls. I couldn't believe the response we got on. Everybody remembers yeast rolls when they were a kid. Their grandmother made them, their great aunt made them, their aunt made them. All of a sudden, we took Lois's recipe, put it on, and you know what? I can't tell you how many people out there have said, hey, we tried these and they were wonderful.
Loved it.
If you follow the steps, follow directions, and that's what we're here for, is to help you. And Ms. Nikki, I can't wait
All right, now's where I get dirty.
for this recipe.
Those I have no rings
Better you
on.
than me,
All right.
because you got 2 hands to clean up, I got 1.
And I'm just going to kind of knead this together. It doesn't have to be very long, just till I get it into a ball. And then we're going to let it sit 90 minutes.
Gotcha.
And you know, something that I've been, and I know some people do, and I've kind of done this a couple times, I set my oven to 200,
Gotcha.
turn it off, open it up a little bit, and then just set this bowl right in there. Seems like
So
it's a little better.
it's not cooking, but it's
No.
warm enough to make it work.
And you leave your oven door open.
Beautiful.
Ta-da! That's after 90 minutes, or it could sit a little longer.
You know what? The other day, we were experimenting. We were having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we had this soup at what, 8 o'clock in the morning?
We did. It was delish.
And I just had it in my mind, and I started thinking of all the different recipes we've done, and I brought this in from here and this in from here. And that's what cooking is.
Yes.
Don't ever let anybody say, you can't do it that way. Oh, you cut those too thick. You cut those too thin. You can't put sugar in that. Yes, you can. We don't do this at Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.
Right.
We will never tell you you can't put frog legs in your chicken stew.
I like that. All right.
Normally you'd make 3 out of these.
Yes, but you want some big bowls for us because we're hungry.
Because we're hungry. And this really does get nice and hard, and it will not let that soup out the side.
We got more to do though. It's on parchment paper.
Gotcha.
We're going to set this beside us. Let's watch it for 20 minutes. We're going to let it rise a little bit more, and then we have to do something else to it before we cook it.
You'll cover that up?
Nope, we're just going to let it sit
Just
like
let it
this.
sit?
Yep,
Gotcha.
behind us.
Now we're going to start the soup. So the other day, I asked you what you would like for lunch, and what do you always say?
Cheeseburger.
Never fails. She loves cheeseburgers.
I do love cheeseburgers.
We didn't have buns, so that dill pickle soup thing was still floating around inside my head, and I thought, okay, all right, I'm going to try this. Now, I'm sure somebody has done some kind of soup like this before. I don't know, but this one's mine.
This is good.
I started thinking about Dad and the way he makes his world-famous cheeseburgers.
Oh, yeah.
What if I could make a soup that tastes like that? The first thing you taste is the onions.
Right.
Now, even if you don't like onions, I guarantee if you get a yellow sweet onion, cook it in butter like I'm doing,
Oh, yeah.
almost anything that you cook turns into magic, because these are sweet. Those sweet juices caramelize in this. Oh my. So that's where we're going to start. I'm going to take me a yellow sweet onion. I'm going to cut that up into what I like to call fingernail-sized pieces. We're just going to take that with a little ulu knife. Okay, now you think with all the flavors that are in a hamburger, cheeseburger meal, especially Dad's cheeseburgers, you got the onion,
Right.
you got the cheese. He didn't really go too much past that. You got the pickle.
Right.
This is
That's all you
where we're
need.
starting. But that onion, that sweet onion, I always remember, I knew when he was cooking his world famous cheeseburger, I could smell him outside.
Smell the onions.
I could smell him cooking outside, and we knew what was coming. Now you're having your cheeseburger. What kind of side would you want?
Always potatoes. Some kind
Always
of potato.
potatoes.
That's
I think we can work that in
That's
as well.
right. Do you want me to do something with the burger?
You know what? I do. Now the other day, when we were experimenting, how about tiny burgers all through your soup? So you're going to take a little measuring cup.
That way they're even, my little balls.
So if you can have cheeseburger soup, you got to have lots of little cheeseburgers.
That's right.
in
I'm
there.
making little baby burgers here.
I'm telling you, this kind of stuff makes me happy. Now, Dad used butter on his buns. You had the butter taste, that's important. So we're gonna actually put a little butter. Now, a lady asked a week or so ago, what pan is that? I wanna buy it for my husband. And that's just an enameled, I guess it's about a 10-inch pan, right? Would that be 10 inches? Yeah. It's an enameled cast iron. I love these. I use them more than anything. This is as well. All right, Mrs. Farmer. There's a lot going on here.
Got your burger. Look for your little tiny burger
Beautiful.
balls.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put them in here.
Can I help you?
And I'm just going to, once I get them in here, I'm just going to flatten them out just a little bit. So now, Mr. Farmer, Jerry Farmer, very important, Mr. Farmer would say,
Yes.
to salt and pepper these little guys. I should have done that before I put them in here, but it's never too late.
That's right.
A little salt, a little pepper.
Those are just cute.
Aren't they though?
They're cute.
All right. Now, Mrs. Farmer, if you will take those 3 small dill spears.
I will.
We're going to have dill pickles in our soup, the taste of dill pickles.
And the chopper's wonderful for this.
Chopper's going to just mush them up.
All right.
So, you know, fermented pickles are a probiotic.
Really? That's
So
good.
you take a little sip of juice every now and then, pickle juice. Ooh, boy, I tell you what. Now, I'm just going to let these take their time. We're not in any hurry here.
Kind of like little
Let
meatballs.
these get nice and done. All right, Mrs. Farmer, I'm going to take me some cheese. 1/3 of a block of cheese.
Yummy.
And I'm going to pop in here. I'm going to let that melt.
How can it not be good with cheese like that?
What do you think?
I could eat that with
Cheese,
onions. Yes.
onions, little baby burgers. You know what? I'm going to have you scoop this out. Have you got a scooper?
Use this.
Yep. That is 1 can of potato soup. We're just going to continue to let this melt all down. All right, we're at a good point here where this is melting down, where you can
Do my bread.
top your bread.
All right, and I have just a little bit of milk in here and an egg for like a wash from
A little
the
bit
top.
of what in there?
A little bit of milk,
How do you spell milk?
M-E-L-L-K. And I'm just gonna, you know, always a little egg wash on the top.
That's funny, north and south. It's milk, milk here, and it's milk. Say it again.
Milk.
You said milk that though. All right, Mrs. Farmer, it's heavenly smelling in here.
Yes, it is.
What are you gonna do now?
We are gonna score the top of these.
All right.
Put a little X on each one.
X marks the spot.
Yeah, to help them when they're cooking. And I'm gonna put egg wash on each one. And what do you think about some sesame seeds? Sesame
To
seed
make
buns?
them look like a big bun?
Yeah,
You know what? The whole family pitched on this. That's Kelly's idea.
I know. That's a good
Now
idea.
you think about this, when we get this done, the presentation is going to look kind of like a burger. Now she likes mushroom and swish.
Yes, I do.
I like just a regular old American cheeseburger. So we're going to hook both of us up tonight. Now if you'll take a look at this soup, our cheese is almost melted. Now what we're going to do, Miss Farmer?
You want your pickles?
Pickles.
We knock those
Yeah,
in for
we'll
you?
scrape those out. And I'm going to put a little bit of pickle juice in here. If I had to guess, that's 2 tablespoons or so. Now what we're going to do in here, a little salt, a little pepper.
I'm gonna sesame seed my buns over here.
Now look at this, Miss Farmer. Would you like to have a hamburger in almost
would.
every bite?
I would.
Now look at that, Mrs. Farmer.
Looks good.
That in itself,
It's like a cheese dip almost.
yeah, it looks like, if you had broccoli, you could
Oh,
make a dish
yeah.
out of that right there. Now here's what we're going to do. Half and half. 2 cups of half and half. Okay, now we're ready to take our cheeseburger,
Yummy. Add it to your soup.
our hamburger, put it in our cheeseburger soup, and then we're going to let that all kind of get together. We're going to turn it up a little bit and let it cook down, let it thicken up. Now I'm going to keep the skillet, Mrs. Farmer.
Okay.
You know what I'm doing with that, don't you?
What are you doing with
For
that?
your mushrooms
Oh
and your
yeah.
onions.
Yes. Yes.
All right, there's our buns, our soup bowl.
And they're gonna raise up a little in the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and throw them in. 400. We're gonna give those a half hour.
All ready? All right, so what I'm going to do now, Mrs. Farmer, because you are a mushroom Swiss person, so I'm going to hook you up, and you like little onions on that as well. I'm just going to cut you up a little bit of onion here in the butter that's left over. So we still have that wonderful taste in there.
Right.
I'll take you some mushrooms, just enough for your
What I like.
cheeseburger soup, your Swiss cheeseburger
Yay.
soup.
It's delicious.
And see, you don't want this to get too hot. You don't want it to scorch.
Right.
But you do want it to thicken up, and you want it to cook down just a little bit. And look where we're
That's
we're
good.
at.
Have you tasted it?
Oh, Mrs. Farmer, I guess. And I'm gonna turn this all down because we're waiting for the bread now. So look at this, nice and dense, firm. You use bread flour there, right?
So easy. Yes.
So easy, nothing to it. Nice and firm, dense. So we can cut that out.
Yummy.
And it'll hold that liquid and it won't leak out. So Mrs. Farmer, look how thick our soup is. Look at that.
That looks good.
Look at that. A burger in every bite.
Can't wait for that. You ready for some bowls?
We're almost here.
I'm excited.
You want to let them set a minute?
You're supposed to, but you know what? I'm hungry. I say I can burn my fingers to cut them. What do you think?
Let's do it. Mrs. Farmer, the moment has arrived.
I'm excited.
Are you hungry?
Yes, I've been eating the bread. So is Kelly that we pulled out of the little bowl here.
All right, Mrs. Farmer, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and dump our soup into our bread bowl. A big heap and scoop.
That's a big bowl of soup.
I
all that bread?
That's quite a bit of
That's a
soup
meal.
that you can fit in there. What are your accoutrements for a hamburger? I know what you like.
I know, yeah. I know
I
what
know
you
what
like.
I like. So here's what I'm going to do. Now this may seem silly. Cheese,
Gotta make it a real cheeseburger.
pickle, a little ketchup, a little mustard. Now what you can do is you can take this and just push this down in here and let that mix up in there.
The perfect cheeseburger soup.
Perfect cheeseburger soup. Are you kidding me? Now yours, on the other hand,
Yes.
I'm going to take just a little bit. You may or may not like this. Just a little bit of horseradish.
I like
for you.
horseradish. I like horseradish.
You love horseradish. A piece of Swiss cheese,
Yummy.
onions.
I think mine's better than yours.
You know what? I'm not going to argue with you.
Like that.
I think they're
Ooh,
both good. Pickle on
I
the
like
side.
a pickle. Yeah. All right.
And look at there, Mrs. Farmer.
Woohoo! And look, we have extra bread. We can dip that in the soup as we're eating it.
Look, it's too pretty to eat.
Yes, it is.
I am so proud of my cheeseburger potato soup.
It looks so delicious.
And yours is mushroom Swiss cheeseburger potato
Yes.
soup. Oh, you know what we need? Spoons. I'm gonna take and mix that American cheese and the ketchup and the mustard in. Now, if you don't want those, you don't have to have that.
I'm excited.
And let me tell you what, look, I'm gonna find me a burger. I found me a burger. That's a big burger right there. Oh, Mom.
Oh, wow.
Listen, I'm not kidding you.
That is so good.
I like it with the horseradish.
I love it. This is so, with the Swiss cheese, mine is so good with the mushrooms.
This might seem like a novelty,
That's
but
good.
let me tell you what. You try this. You give this to your kids.
Oh, yeah.
Give this to your great uncle. Give this to the man down the road. They're gonna like this.
This was fun to make, too.
It's fun.
It was fun.
And it just popped into my head, and it's so delicious.
It is delicious.